Welcome to the Mischief. I'm Valen, and this is Immersive Engineering. Today we're covering the Fermenter. The Fermenter, as you kind of see here in this little crowded space, is a rather simple device. It's very simple and very similar to a squeezer. In fact, it uses almost the same design with just a few changes. Let me go over how to build one first, and then we'll continue on with how to use it. To start with, you're going to need some scaffolding, some pipes, fluid pipes that is, and a light engineering block. You just start with this kind of U-shaped pattern here, a couple of the fluid pipes and the light engineering block in the corner. You then stack up one more of the light engineering blocks. Get yourself 4 cauldrons and put them in the corner here. Then you get a redstone block here, one of these redstone engineering blocks. Put it in place like so. Grab yourself a little bit of iron sheet metal for the top. Put that in place, and then voila, you have yourself c'est fini. Is beautiful. Actually, it's rather simple, and it's even less complex than the previous machine, the squeezer over there that I recently covered. But it is used often in conjunction with it to create diesel fuel. But we're going to be covering some things that are a bit simpler than that. So let me grab a little bit of this here, and you can see this is the power input at the top here. You can hook it up with LV cables or HV cables, MV cables, whatever you like. It uses the same power rate as the squeezer does, which is about 800 RF or IF per functional use. But that doesn't mean 800 RF per tick, but it does get kind of close there. You don't have to have a lot of power going into it. I mean, this is just one capacitor going in with an LV connection, and therefore it's going to function very slowly. So it's not too bad, but I mean, it's just with less power equals it's not going to actually do anything until it actually accumulates 800 RF or IF or whatever your power is that you're using, and then it will use a part of a function, which then uses multiple steps in actually creating ethanol, which is what this machine primarily is for. Now, as you can see here, it has this little red dot on the front that is for an on-off lever. You can always invert these as well, so that if you want the on to be off and the off to be on, you just shift click them with a hammer. And then of course it has the outputs here for liquids and items, and it has the inputs just like the squeezer on the back, with inputs for items back here. Now, it makes liquids, more or less. That's pretty much all it does. Now let's go over here and we'll take a look at what it can make liquids from. Now if you look, I've got potatoes, melons, sugarcane, and apples. Now of course there are a lot of ways to automate farms in Minecraft, especially in modded Minecraft. Now in this case though, if you are making diesel fuel, I would recommend that you go with melons. Now, why melons? Melons is because it can be turned into seeds. You can't turn sugarcane into seeds or potatoes or apples unless you've got special other mods in place. But with vanilla mechanics, you can get multiple melon slices from one block, therefore more compact, as well as just put it in a crafting grid. For example, let me grab one of these here. And if I put it in a crafting table, you get yourself melon seeds, which can be used in a squeezer to then make the other fuel that you will need to combine in a refinery to make diesel fuel. But that's just a suggestion. All 4 of these items will make 80 millibuckets of ethanol, which is only one of the liquids that you will need in order to make diesel fuel. And of course, you can see I've just got my own little kind of farm set up here. Nothing really big or major. But with the output, let's break this pipe here just so you can see. With the output here, you can just hook it up with a pipe and it will automatically pipe it out. Now with the interface, it's the same as the squeezer really. You've got your input for manual placed items here, like a bucket you can put up in there, or a chemical thrower to fill up its tank or whatever, etc., etc. Jerry can and so on. But if I turn on these levers, which I've got these set up over here so that they just start dropping in all sorts of fruits. And you can see it's inputting these quite rapidly, and it is currently rapidly taking these. Now, this is with an HV cable, with an HV capacitor that is full. Of course, it's creative, actually. So it's not going to run out of power, and it's running at maximum speed. if I were to use an LV one, let me grab this and put some of these in here. You can see it runs, and you know it was just a couple at a time. But if I start grabbing a bunch of these, actually, whoa, darn conveyor belts. Let me grab a stack of melons and get over here and put this in here. You'll see that it now drained the power very quickly and then stopped. Not to worry, once this gets up to 800, it then does another function. You can see that, you know, it's keeping the numbers low on the little bar on the top there, but it's nothing really to worry about, and it is slowly, you know, working its way through this stuff and creating ethanol, as you can see inside there. Now, of course, this is a much bigger operation over here, and I keep on picking up all these fruits and foods. Let's put all those in there, and you can see nothing is actually being stored because it is currently hooked up. Now, if I break that, it's going to stop, but it was currently outputting to all of these here. Let me grab a bucket so you can see the input. We've got, you know, ethanol going into all of these containers, as well as we've got it piped into one of these large tanks, which can store quite a lot of stuff. And of course, you can always pipe it back out as you need to into your refinery. Now, that's pretty much all there is to it. Yes, you can use ethanol in a chemical thrower if you want. You can fill that thing up and you know, spray it around. You can even light it and use it on fire, but that's not what we're covering today. We're just going over the fermenter and how useful it can be. Now, it is a very simple machine, doesn't use a lot of materials, as you can see here, just a few pieces of sheet metal on top of this, and that's pretty much all it uses. So therefore you can get away with this plus the other refinery, and then you're starting to make yourself diesel fuel for your diesel generation. Next up, we'll be going into the refinery. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If so, please make sure to give a like, comment, subscribe, and as always, spread the mischief to others if you think they'll enjoy the content. Until next time, folks, I'll see ya.